10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. My name is Whack Whack Attack. Today is March 17th and oh my god, a whole lot of stuff's happened in the last couple of days since I've not been here. So the first thing that happened is, as I said on Wednesday's episode, is that we'll have the all core devs call on Thursday, and it's very likely we will get Shanghai Day during that. Well, Tim Byko released a tweet yesterday morning saying block 6,209,536, date April 12th, and time 10:27:35 p.m. UTC. So what does that mean? Beacon Chain was kind enough to translate that for us. They said the Ethereum main chain will undergo the Shanghai hard fork at slot 6209536, which is April 12th, 2003. 2023. And get live slot visualization on the Beacon Chain front page for this highly anticipated hard fork. Link goes to slot. So then link goes to, and then it shows you their slot that will take you there. So what does that mean? That means the Rocket Pool community and the team had this Twitter space that was that went out last night, and it's already been listened to 8,000 times. The Twitter account here says, tune in to the first of 2 recorded spaces to hear all about the imminent Atlas upgrade, learn how reducing mini pool ETH requirements to just 8, and how to effortlessly convert 32 ETH solo validators after the Shanghai hard fork. So they had some technical difficulties with this recording, and then they moved to the Discord channel where you could take part, and then that was also recorded and put on YouTube, so you can go check it out. So that's really cool. So in this call, it was set up kind of like a town hall. So there were Ken was asking the questions, and then a whole bunch of people were Langas mostly was giving information, and then they were also taking questions from people in trading pretty much, and it covered, let me see if I can get the agenda. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so give me 1 second. I really should have had this opened from before, but there was lots and lots of stuff that was covered in this town hall, and I can start telling you about it now. So it was in the beginning they talked about what's happening on Gurley, and then on mainnet, and then what settings will be changed before Atlas, how will new LEBs form, how they work, the conversion from 16 to 8, how skimming, getting partial rewards will work, getting full rewards, how does it work to exit the mini pool your mini pools voluntarily, and what the process for that is. Sorry, I should have pressed mute. And then what will happen with solo staker migration, and what's going to happen with our ETH holders, and their share of withdrawals. So there were some really good questions that were asked during that, and we can get some information here from Joe, who was giving updates on what's going on. So he says the Atlas on Gurley, so we know that version 1.9.0 is already on Gurley, so you can start playing around with some things there. However, the Atlas contracts have not been published to Gurley yet. Those will go out on Monday, so Pateris and Joe can start to test the version 5 of the rewards tree post Shanghai pre-Atlas, and then and then the Atlas is going to land right after Chapella on mainnet. I'll get through to giving you some more information about that. And then A35U said, can we not launch before? And Joe says we can, but it's not safe enough. And then A35U says, I'm still unclear on what exactly is unsafe. And Joe says that the team, they want 4 weeks, and I guess the community wants 4 weeks of testing version 3 rewards tree on mainnet post Atlas, just to make sure that it's all running smoothly and everything is going well, because they can make the tweaks to the contracts if they need to. And then Joe says that means we either launch Atlas today or we wait until after April 13th. So April 13th, of course, is when the next rewards day is. It happens to be a matter of hours after the mainnet, Ethereum mainnet undergoes the hard fork. I think 6 or 7 hours later, something like that. And then Lee says pull the trigger today. A35U says launch it, and Joe was laughing. They're not going to launch it. So the official release date for Atlas will be on Monday. However, I'll come back to that. Joe's little bit of info. He says version 1.9 will be released for mainnet on March 27th or thereabouts. He says pending on Shapella compatible client releases, because of course they want everything to be as easy as possible for node operators to be ready for the hard fork. Not like during the merge where, every day we had to do like smart node updates. And then A35U says when are the audit reports, and then that information will be made clear in the next couple of weeks. And then Joe gives more points here. He says 5, as coordinated with the team earlier, the oDAO is going to have 1 week to update to 1.9 when it's out. April 3rd, that's when they're going to make changes to the deposit pool and the collateral rate and stuff. That's what we were talking about on Wednesday's episode. And he says around the same time new balance reporting implementation goes live, and also around the same time transition to RPL TWAP. That's time weighted average price. So they're going to change the way the contracts calculate the RPL price. I think that's what that means. And this is around the same time the proposal to update Atlas goes live. So they have to have a 7-day wait before it can be voted on. So they'll put that vote through, and then the oDAO will vote on the change to the contract. And we think it's going to be a formality basically. So they should do that within a day or two, and then everything will be set. And then Joe had some more information as well. Sneaky said, when is the smart node going to be updated to allow 16 to 8 LEB migrations? Smart node is going to need another update after skimming becomes available, or no? And then Joe says technically version 1.9 will allow it, but there's a PDAO setting to enable it, so they'll trigger after 1 round of skimming is done. And that I'm going to give you an update on that as well, because that's slightly incorrect. But then Joe has some more information. He says CD are still, that's consensus diligence. The audit are still doing their fix checks. Once they give us their final report, we'll release everything. Worst case is probably sometime next week. So that's really great. And this is once they're released, ImmuneFi gets updated to accept bug reports for Atlas. So they're not currently accepting bug reports for Atlas. So that'll be coming very soon as well. And yeah, those were all the updates from Joe. And give a listen to the town hall to get much more detail on some of those things. Yeah, so this information here, that's incorrect. So let's get the correct information. Joe says that Kane confirmed the flag to enable bond reductions will be enabled on launch, because the begin/scrub period can handle the skims. So the idea is that the conversion will be set at launch, and then but the scrub period you can get your stuff. And then Joe says, yeah. Joe says, oh, but I thought they wanted to wait to enable them. I guess not. So yeah, that you'll be able to start the process pretty much right away. And then Joe says the command line interface requires you to have enough RPL staked to cover the bond reduction during begin bond reduce. It yells at you if you don't. If you barely have enough and then RPL drops during the reduction check, you have to top it up again for the bond reduction to take effect. So that you have to definitely keep that in mind as well. And then Kane says if you submit your balance with the conversion as 32, it'll be fine. You'll only get scrubbed if your beacon balance drops below whatever you claim it will be. And Joe says you can go down to 31.999 beacon plus mini pool balance before you get scrubbed if you submit with 32. So don't be offline during a sync committee. So yeah, there was some really good information there as well. And then, like I said, Joe says that the official release is going to be announced on Monday. The unofficial date is right after the rewards interval on the 13th of April. So let me give you a little bit of a timeline of how this might go. Of course, it's just my speculation. So Ethereum will mainnet will undergo Shanghai at 10:36 p.m. or whatever it is on the 12th. That's UTC. Then the Rocket Pool will have their the monthly rewards on, I think, 5 a.m. No, 6:35 a.m. on the 13th. Then the oDAO will calculate their rewards tree. So I think all of that will happen within normally a couple of hours. So I presume that Atlas will go live at some point during the early hours, like late morning UTC. So maybe around, I want to say 10, 11 a.m. UTC, maybe somewhere around then. That's just my guess. I don't know if they're gonna wait for the Americans to wake up before they update that information, but that means that there'll be about 7, maybe 8 hours, maybe the maximum, I think, of 12 hours after Shanghai goes live on mainnet and before Atlas goes live. So I think that's well within the scope of reasonableness, especially on Wednesday. We talked about Lido not having their withdrawals ready for pretty much a month. So 12 hours I think is perfectly fine. I think we'll still be good with that. Like that should be totally okay. Okay, and then then there was talking about rewards, the next reward cycle. So this reward cycle happened on Wednesday morning, UTC, like I said, 6:45 a.m. And then Joe, there was an issue, right? There were not enough rewards trees being generated quickly enough, and the rewards were delayed quite a lot. So Joe gave an update at about 3 hours after the rewards were supposed to go live. The checking started. He says looks like most of the Oracle DAO is reverting to their archive mode fallbacks, which are slow. They're making progress, just slow. It says we've had 7 out of 9 submits so far. So because of the number of people on the oDAO, number of organization groups, people, whatever, on the oDAO, you need 9 people to submit the trees now, and they had 7 of them at this point. So they were not being calculated quickly enough, and different operators had different errors. So that was the monthly RPL and smoothing pool rewards. So the rewards finally went through. Let me see. They went through around 10 hours late. So there were a whole bunch of issues. So let's find out what some of the issues were. So Joe gave a TLDR. He says there are so many nodes, mini pools now, that it seems like a lot of the oDAO nodes didn't finish doing execution layer calculations before Geth pruned their state, so many had to revert to archive nodes, which is fine, that's why they're there. This revealed some archive node misconfigurations with people again, and for those who were using Alchemy timed out in the middle of the tree gen, which bricked the whole thing. Obvious low-hanging fruit is to use version 5 for the next interval, which snapshots the entire network state at the start in like 20 seconds, so I will see if there's appetite for that. Pateris and I have already tested it on mainnet Redstone and it looks good, but we now have 4 more weeks to do more testing. So that is a rewards tree 5, and whether they're going to get that in time or not. I'm not sure what's going to happen for the next rewards period, but it seems like version 5 will be the month after that, but I'm not sure. Okay, and then we had, of course, this was the biggest smoothing pool period for rewards. It was 378 ETH in the mini pool, which was all-time high. However, it didn't quite translate to the highest rewards because there's more mini pools now to divide that with. Patches had the updated number of 373.79 ETH. That was the in the reward. So that was really good to see that it was such a high amount. Yeah, but because so many people have joined the smoothing pool since the last really big one, it doesn't work. The rewards are less now than they were then. So yep. And then Joe later overnight had an update about why Ken's node was giving the wrong route, why his treat was wrong. He says, we have successfully determined why Ken's node reported the wrong Merkle route. It's not a problem with Geth. His beacon node wasn't in archive mode, and so it was missing the start block. That's all. Crisis averted. So it was just a configuration issue that Ken had with the rocket scientist node. Otherwise, it would have worked the way it was supposed to. So that was the issue there as well. And then we had this a transaction that went out yesterday from Fizz to Dr. Doofus, and Dr. Doofus says Dr. Doofus was the one who won the TreeGen and gave the information of his placements, and he scored 5, which was the highest. But then Fizz was joking. He says, "Damn, so close. I hate to disqualify you, but winners must guess me in the first place. Them's the rules." And then then that was Dr. Doofus in Dr. Doofus fashion made a reply that you can read on the screen, but I'm not going to read out loud. But then Fizz sent the prize money to Dr. Doofus, which was really awesome to see. So the oDAO guessing game, for those of you who don't know, is every rewards day, people guess the order in which the top 9 now, I guess, oDAO members will provide their trees, and the person who gets the most, closest, wins the prize. I think the prize is 5 RPL. The prize is 5 RPL. So that's really, really nice. Not bad to win a couple of $100 like that. So congratulations, Dr. Doofus. Okay, and then we had an update that kind of came through, some of the discussions from the oDAO stuff and the rewards generation. So Patches started this list, a slightly different discussion. He says, oDAO wishlist thread. He says, here's an oDAO wishlist thread. So I'm compiling a list of things I wish oDAO nodes did. I'm going to use it to inform the design of a new Watchtower service. I'll start. So log streaming to public dashboard, metric streaming to public dashboard, TreeGen implementation with optional disk or memory-backed cache. And then he says Sprocket pool preview automation, official tree public mirror, securely obviously, call stack and request tracing to make Joe's life easier, TreeGen implementation, operational separation, error reporting to the extent that it doesn't compromise security, ancillary push notification service for challenges, pending vote scrubs, and non-fungible Yokum says one bit of complication. Many oDAO members run their personal mini pools on the same node. That might make for some privacy exposure. And then Blue AVM says oDAO node public dashboard. You can have node status, version, TreeGen status, previous current TreeGen status, and then the security. And then so this is a nice list of things. It seems like Patches is going to be working on an alternative Watchtower at some point. So that was very, very exciting. I think he should contact the GMC for a grant for that. Okay, talking about the oDAO. So here there is a new proposal created for the oDAO. It says Rocket Pool 1 created proposal 12 and description: invite Coinbase Ventures and Unit 410 to the oDAO. So there's a transaction here. Like I was saying before, is you need to wait 7 days before this can start a vote. So it launched at March 16th. So on March 23rd, the oDAO members will be able to vote on this proposal, whether to bring Coinbase Ventures into the oDAO or not. I presume it'll be a formality, and we'll get those votes quite quickly, which is really great. So yeah, Coinbase Ventures are one step closer to becoming official oDAO members. Next, we're going to talk about some updates from Joe. So here we have a goalie beacon chain, and it shows a node here, and their withdrawals of skimming rewards that are going through. And then there's this Rocknet has this saying, it looks like I got swept on Gurley, So it says your Beacon Chain earnings are 0 and your APR is minus 36%. And it's just kind of broken metrics here. So what was going on? Well, we had Joe explain that basically when skimming happens, the Grafana dashboard is not understanding what's going on very well, and it's not a withdrawal friendly dashboard basically anymore. So Joe says if anyone wants to take a stab at making a withdrawal friendly dashboard and submit a pull request, I'm game. So if anyone wants to help Joe out with working on the dashboard, then Joe will be very happy with that. And then we had this other update during the Atlas town hall, where Joe said the team is hiring me some help. So this was a really nice update that came out around that. Maybe it just came out right after that, I'm not sure. I fell asleep on the couch while listening to the town hall. So it's really great that the team is expanding. Now I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but hopefully it will happen soon, and that will definitely be good, because we need more people on the team. So I'm glad that some of the burden will be lifted off Joe's shoulders, because that guy has been working way too hard. Like 240 hours in February is just like insane, and I'm sure that he's been working just as hard in March also. Okay, next we had this update from Ether Capital, and then it says free community tool for staking analytics. And he says, hi everyone, big fans of Rocket Pool. My partner and I actually spun up a mini pool over the weekend. I want to introduce myself with permission from the Rocket Pool team. My name's Ashley. I work for Ether Capital. We're the first public company in the world to stake a significant amount of ETH, 36,000 ETH so far. We just launched the beta version of a dashboard used to measure staking analytics. It's a free community tool that allows users to track their rewards and monitor validated performance, i.e. missed attestation, slashings, etc. from one platform. The dashboard also aggregates and exports financial data related to staking operations, which makes it a lot easier to file your taxes. That's a really cool addition. He says this is a tool we built in-house when we first started staking, and it helped us big time when meeting institutional auditing and reporting requirements. Our goal is to bring more transparency to the Ethereum staking ecosystem and give users direct insight into their staking operations, which is why we intended to always have a free version of the dashboard for the community to use. It's currently in beta mode, and we're looking for early user feedback to build out new features. We'd love for you to sign up and tell us what you think. We'll be joining Rocket Pool on Twitter Spaces next Tuesday to share more information about the dashboard in case you want to tune in. And then there's some screen caps here that you can see for the dashboard. The left of the screen is a bit cut off, but it looks really nice. I've not used the dashboard myself yet, but I think that this is going to be a really nice tool for people to use, and I really like that tax calculator because I think that's something that was missing for a while. The thing that really stood out to me here is that they launched a mini pool over the weekend, and they stake a considerable amount of ETH, 36,000 ETH. Now my alarm bell is ringing, and this is complete speculation, but what if they are planning on moving all their, they're technically like their solo stake, right? They're an institution, so their stake. What if they're thinking of moving their solo stake to Rocket Pool? That would be pretty amazing. With 36,000 ETH, they'll be able to bring up like over 100,000 RETH basically on their own. That would be pretty good. So I'm not sure exactly what is going to happen with that, but that's something that kind of piqued my interest when I was reading this. I think that's going to be really great. So the community, then they posted that in the community as well, and talking about their tool and what they're doing. So definitely go and check that out. The links are in the description. And then we had this person from Luganodes says talking to Dave and saying that ETH was a massive event for us, both planning on travel-wise with withdrawals and Atlas up soon. We're not going to Paris. It says, and then Luganodes person David says, do you have any staff in Brisbane? And Dave says, yes, there are a few of us there. And Davis says, what's the best way to get in contact? I'm from Luganodes and we're planning to run quite a lot of validators very soon. It's much easier when time zones are similar. And then Maverick said, hey, I had a chat with you guys a couple of days ago. Anuj, I think it was. And Davis says, yeah, the big cheese himself. And Maverick says, well, I'm happy to be the point of contact for you guys. I can help to coordinate with my colleagues if and when you need more technical assistance. You can ping me at any time here on Discord, Telegram, email. And then David says, yeah, sweet, sounds good. I'll be back in touch in the next few days, most likely. So that's a nice little snippet of interesting conversation there from the Luganodes people. And maybe if they really like this idea of we're planning to run quite a lot of validators very soon. So yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like there's breadcrumbs, right, of a lot of people wanting to move to Rocket Pool in the coming days, so in the coming months maybe. I really feel like we're primed for some big stuff happening right here, but of course it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to make investments based on my speculation or anything like that. So yeah. So just as I'm telling you about this is not nice. Okay, so this website here, Seeking Alpha, had a report that wrote about Rocket Pool, and it says Rocket Pool, no rocket emojis, just strong from fundamentals and big upcoming catalysts. So they wrote a whole report about what Rocket Pool is and what's going on, and this was written by Thomas Dunleavy, who's CFA, and they talked a lot about like Rocket Pool is a really detailed report. However, I didn't make an account to sign up, so I can't show you guys the whole report. What I do have here is a screenshot of their price projections. Now, some of you who are looking at the screen right now and are quite sharp-eyed will notice that there is this is a familiar pattern, and yeah, I'll come back to why that might be next. But they give a case. It says RPL has a 5 times upside in 2023 based on multiple catalysts, and there's a 2023 Rocket Pool price model. So this is actually one of the most like short to mid-term price models I've seen. Most of them are slightly further out than this point, but let's have a look at what it says. It says current is our ETH supply is 206,000. Percentage of RPL staked is 41%. ETH staked is 16,800,000. ETH percentage staked 15%. Rocket Pool market share is 1.66%. I think it's a bit higher than that now. ETH collateral per validator 16. And then it goes and gives average collateralization, RPL collateralization requirement, and then it gives kind of a breakdown in RPL market cap, RPL ETH price, ETH, and RPL. So they highlight their base case right here. Their base case right here puts us at 0.1 on the ETH ratio, the RPL ETH ratio, and an RPL price of $153.45 in 2023. So that is a very bullish price prediction right there. And their average of their bearish, conservative, base, optimistic, and bullish cases is basically a 5x from here, and $175 RPL price. The thing that I find really curious here is that they're not factoring in much growth for ETH price within that. So it's just based on the ETH price now. So if you think ETH will go up, the main thing to here basically look at is the ETH RPL ratio, and they've got it as a 0.1. So that is definitely something really, really interesting to look at for their base, and 0.15 for their optimistic, and 0.236 for their bullish, which is actually pretty much a 10x from where the ratio is now. This is not only aggressive predictions based on the time scale, being like short to medium time scale, but it's also very, very, very bullish based on the price, like the ratio that they expect. So definitely, read through the whole report, find out where they're getting their numbers from, how they're putting it all together. the spreadsheet that I'm showing on the screen right now is linked on the screen. A screenshot of it is on the screen, so you can go and have a look at that as well. So I said that those people might find it familiar. Marceau says, I love when people build off my valuation model, although crediting the source is also appreciated. So they basically used Marceau's kind of numbers, like this, his structure, and then use that. So Bossy said, Dunleavy89, what do you have to say for yourself? And Marcy says, it's all good, Bossy. Anyone who helps get the word out is on the side. The model is meant to be used, adapted, etc. So maybe, they could have credited Marcy a little bit, but that's besides the point, I guess, here. So yeah. Next, we have some really sad news that came from Rocket Pool community member Jason B. He says, fuck, I just got hacked for close to $40,000. So what happened is Jason had his wallet seed on Evernote. And actually, let's have a look a little bit more here about what's going on. He then says, I'm getting this error when trying to change the withdrawal address. Super stressed, not going to lie. My node is being compromised and trying to change withdrawal before the next RPL reward. So now let me tell you what's happened, right? The full story. And this story, I'm making sure that I get the information just right. So I'm going to be reading out some information that Patches sent me. So he says, basically the node operator had his withdrawal address and his node address seed phrases stored on Evernote. And this user's Evernote was then hacked. It says someone got access to his Evernote, drained his withdrawal address of funds. So that's where the original $40,000 came from, a $40,000 hack. It says then changed his withdrawal address to an address controlled by the attacker. So this is what happened, right? You have a node, you have a machine, it has a node key that stays on the node. You're supposed to write it down on a piece of paper, keep it safe, keep it hidden away. It's a hot wallet because it needs to sign transactions. And then you have a withdrawal address for your node. That's the 0x1, signature set that the Rocket Pools had from day one. So that means that any ETH or RPL or any token that is on your node can only be sent to one address, and that address is your withdrawal address. Jason had his node key on his Evernote. Now, this in itself might not have been the worst thing because there's no way to change the withdrawal address from the node key if you have it set from beforehand. Unless, of course, you also have your wallet key compromised at the same time, your withdrawal key compromised at the same time, which is what happened with Jason here. So he had his node key compromised and he had his withdrawal address key compromised. So then not only was the hacker able to drain his withdrawal wallet, the hacker was also able to change the withdrawal address on his node. So as soon as withdrawals are enabled on mainnet, the hacker will be able to exit the node voluntarily and then send that ETH to their own wallet instead of to Jason's wallet that was there, because they compromised it and then they were able to sign the transaction from the old withdrawal address, changing the withdrawal address to their withdrawal address and address that they control. So Jason basically got, really bad stuff happened here. So Patches goes on to say, it's critical to mention that the withdrawal address itself was MetaMask and the seed was stored in Evernote because node operators who use the hardware wallet as their withdrawal address are safe, assuming they haven't stored their seed phrase on the computer or in the cloud. And Patches says, also worth mentioning that if any of your viewers have stored their withdrawal address seeds in the cloud and don't own a hardware wallet, now is the time to buy one. And while it ships, they should enable 2FA on all their accounts. The node keys will be hot anyway. So, this is horrible that this happened to Jason. He lost all the crypto that was in his withdrawal address. His node has been compromised in such a way that I don't think any way that he can recover from this. It's really, really horrible for Jason. So I'm sorry, Jason. Wow. Yeah. Moving on. Sorry. Is this information from Coinbase about unstaking? official unstaking path for CB ETH. Of course, you can just sell your CB ETH, but some people didn't get CB ETH for their staked ETH. So it says Coinbase unstaking news. Ethereum's Shapella upgrade is almost here. The upgrade will enable unstaking for the first time since ETH staking was introduced in December 2020. And here's what you need to know. And then there's a screen capture. It says, if you'd like to unstake, Coinbase will begin taking unstaking requests about 24 hours the upgrade completes. All unstaking requests are processed on chain and will pass the unstaked funds and staking rewards to you once released by the Ethereum protocol. So I'm really happy with this, that Coinbase are getting everything set up really quickly, and it's all ready to go. So that's fantastic. So now I want to kind of tie this up with the Atlas news that came in earlier. So one of the things I was talking about before is that we needed to make sure that Atlas was live at Shanghai / Shapella, whatever you want to call it, because we needed to make sure that we could accept people migrating. But thankfully, two of the biggest staking services out there will be ready after we are ready. So that kind of removes some of that pressure, and I think that's really wonderful. So on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I will be in touch with you all on Monday next week. So see you then. Bye.